Hey, 4xe fans, pardon the voice, dealing with that seasonal stuff, and it's just finally kind of on its way out. I've been down with it for over a week, but getting better. And I wanted to share something here, and this has to do with the number of people that are informed this winter that haven't been in the past due to the B9A recall. And the accelerated oil life depletion, and how this all plays in together. This is all kind of I think this video is a lot of speculation on my part, because I don't work for Jeep, I don't work for a Jeep garage, I don't have access to this information, but I'm putting things together from conversations, and this is speculation. Please don't go running to your dealership and say this David Letterman sounding guy on YouTube said this is what my Jeep needs, because that's not, this is speculation on my part, but I think it's heavily educated just because I geek out about the 4xe a lot and I follow what's going on and talk to a lot of people. And so here's my thoughts on this. Now, we're experiencing an increase in the number of people informed, and that is directly due to the number of people who are not charging because of the B9A recall, and those short engine runs that can happen depending on your case use. Those short engine runs that can happen as a result of not charging and running in hybrid mode all the time has now, we have this resurgence of people informed that have not been in previous years, and a lot of people are directly seeing the connection to not charging is what's causing that. But here are some things that I think I've put this together well, and I probably down in the comments below would appreciate some assistance if there's any information I'm leaving out, because I'm trying to do all this from memory. So first off, when you go into form, of course, you are going to use more oil life. That you're going to see a decrease because the engine is running more. Something that happened a while back, or that the Jeep figured out a while back, is that when the vehicle was in form, it was also throwing a PID. And if you aren't familiar with a PID, it's all those true and false things that are in the software that, if this is true, then it throws this PID, and if this is false, it throws this PID. There are a whole bunch of that. I'm a rookie at all that. I have a JScan, and I go in and look at some of that stuff. But boy, if you want to go to Tyler Foster's YouTube channel and look at some of the stuff he has figured out on all this, hopefully I'll remember to put a link down in the comments below. But he has really dug into the PIDs, and there's a lot of great information out there that he has figured out. But if you are in a heavy use scenario, let's say you've got a 3,000-pound trailer and you're pulling it up a mountain for a couple hours, the system is going to understand that you are asking more of the engine than if you were just not towing a trailer and going on a flat plane, and it's going to recalculate the amount of oil life decline that it's going to calculate into the system. That oil life is not, there's not a sensor in the oil or anything. That's all software that's kind of doing a great job of speculating engine life. So, or engine oil life, I should say. So somebody that doesn't use the engine a lot, or somebody who just lightly uses the engine periodically, is not going to see the decrease as fast as somebody who is using this vehicle to like tow and climb mountains and go off-roading and all that stuff. So there is like I can't remember what's called, like excessive use or heavy use PID, that triggers when you're doing that, so that the calculations change more aggressively during that time that you're doing that. So if you're towing a trailer for 4 hours, during that time, it's going to throw that heavy use PID, and the oil life percentage is going to go down faster. Does that make sense so far? Okay, so one issue that came up was that while these vehicles were in form, it was triggering that heavy use PID. And that was incorrect, and that was something that Jeep went in and corrected. There was also another update, and these came out, these updates came out like late 22 and early 23, and I don't know which one is which. One of them is 18, these are TSB numbers that you might want to write down, 18-162-22 and 18-011-23. One of those was a a TSB to update the form parameters and to make it a little easier to get out of form. And I think not so quick to go into form to begin with. I'm not sure what all that update included. That's never made public what all is in there. But we did see a huge decline in the number of people that went into form initially after those updates came out. And we also saw a decline, or an increase, I don't know how to say this. We saw that people were able to get out of form easier at that time. So those two updates, 18.162.22 and 18.011.23, both need to be in your 4xE. And so what we're seeing this winter, we're seeing a lot of people that are going into form, and again, we're seeing a lot of people that are experiencing that excessive oil decline, like very quickly. And here's my speculation. This is Chris's speculation based only on my understanding of the system and what I see going on. I have a feeling there are some Jeeps rolling around that did not receive those updates, and these would be anything built before I'd say January of 23. Anything built before then would not necessarily have these updates, and I don't know, like on the assembly line, when those updates hit. I don't know how that happens, but I would say if you have a 22 or 23 and you're having these issues, I would question if these updates have actually been loaded. Now, here's part of the problem. I had an update that did not get loaded, and I had my dealership telling me up and down that my Jeep was completely updated. It had all the updates. And that update was for the E-Select, like last state recall. So if you pulled into your driveway and you were in electric mode when you turned it off, when you plug it in, the next day you come out, you unplug it, you start the vehicle, it'll start in electric mode. Well, when that update came out, I had like an oil change around that time, and I said, hey, there's this update. Can you make sure I have that update? And when I picked it up, they assured me I had all the updates, but I could not get it to go in electric mode. Wah, disappointing, whatever. It wasn't a big deal. So I went back several months later. I had something else going on, and I took it, I had it at the dealership, and I said, hey, there's this update that I think I'm supposed to have. And at first we thought maybe the 21s weren't going to get this update, but then I started getting messages from people with 21s. The first one came from a guy in Germany. And so we found out the 21s could indeed get this update, but mine still didn't have it. And again, they assured me my Jeep was completely up to date. They said they looked in the system and my Jeep was up to date. Now, I don't know if they're looking in their computer system or if they're looking in the Jeep system. I don't know, but something told them that everything was up to date. And I ended up having a bad coolant pump. This is like a year later, and I had like a bad coolant pump, and I ended up having to take it to another dealership because my dealership had like a 4.5 week backlog. And this dealership was on the other end of the town. They're a little nicer area, and they deal with the 4xE more than my dealership that I go to on a regular basis. And I went in there to get the coolant pump replaced, and I said, hey, while you got it, can you check on this one particular update? I don't think I have this update, and I wanted to see what you find. His tech went in and dug in, and their system, again, whatever system they look at said that the Jeep was completely up to date, but their tech knew exactly what I was talking about because he knows the 4xE, and he went in and found that it wasn't loaded. And so when I got the Jeep back that time, it was loaded, and I got the latching E-Select. And I have talked to a few other people that have gone through similar experiences with other updates. And there's a few other people like me that kind of geek out about this stuff, that the system said they were updated, but the updates weren't there. So my thought is, my theory, and I'm going to need some help from the 4xE community to kind of prove this theory out, is that some of these updates, even though the system says they're all loaded, some of these updates I don't believe are loaded. So if you're in the process of working with your dealership, or you have a star case open and you're working with them on that excessive oil depletion thing, you're going 1,000 miles and it goes from 100% to 0%. There's some crazy stuff like that. And then there's people in Canada, same thing. They go 1,000 kilometers and they go from 100% oil life to 0%. So I would ask for some of you that are going through this and are active in working with your dealership to see if you can ask them to go in and specifically check to see if these TSBs are loaded, 18162-2020 or 22 and 18011-23. Those are the TSBs. I mean, if you want to see how those are written out, that's how those are formatted. And if you're wanting to communicate with your dealer, you know, like, hey, can we see if this is the thing? You know, approach it from that perspective. Don't approach it from, hey, there's this guy on YouTube that said I need this. I mean, some of these videos have helped people, and I get that, but you know, we want to be respectful of the professionals that are involved in this. But at the same time, it seems like here in the community, we are able to get a little more micro focused on these things than the dealer's capable of doing, because they just don't have the time. They're supporting 4 lines in a lot of these garages, and they don't have the time to spare to like really get into this stuff like we do. So share that from that perspective, that, you know, you try to make them your ally. Don't try to like kind of go at them like, hey jerk, you got to load this thing. No, let's see if we can work on this together and see if some of these oil life issues are related to TSBs that were never loaded, or updates or flashes. I don't know what the technical term is. I just know they come out on a technical service bulletin, and that's what those are. So thanks for watching, and please, if this is your scenario and you're going through this and you find success with that, please share that down in the comments below. Thanks for watching.